Hey y'all, from Spindle Mountain Mercantile. I am Heather. Welcome to my YouTube channel. The first time I posted this video, I didn't realize how many mistakes I left in the editing, so I changed that up a little bit, and here it is again. Project number 1. I have no idea where this came from, but I found it in my yard. Probably came from me, right? I want to mimic this look. That is just worn from having water drained down it. I don't know all what it is. It has some dirt smooshed in there, and I want to mimic it. So I thought, okay, I'll use this tiered planter my sweet husband found at Dollar Tree, and I started with white wax, and then I gave up. If anybody knows how to do that, I would love if you could tag me or send me a link to a video or let me know someone who did that, because I would like to learn. But I don't know what to do. I think I have to use some black, maybe liquid patina. I just decided to zhuzh this one up. I started by cleaning it, and I am not really cleaning it. I'm just wiping off the extra debris. I'm using a napkin because it has just a little bit more texture to it and no water. And I'm just praying that what I'm going to do to it will work, because it usually has to be pretty clean to have transfers on it. I don't know where I got these transfers or what company makes them. If anybody knows and you could let my other viewers know, I'd sure appreciate that. I want to give it a chwal look. Chwal is that fabric that has pictures everywhere. It's just kind of a mishmash of pictures. Usually they all go the same direction, like up and down. And Delft China has the pictures that they use in chwal. Delft China is that white and blue. There's other colors too of other copycats, but Delft is usually the white with the blue pictures, and I think they're usually Danish. This transfer went on super great. I was impressed because it's still dirty. I put it on and rubbed it with my hand to give it that initial stick. Then I used my transfer stick to rub the entire surface. Then I started pulling back the carrier sheet. That's the plastic sheet that the transfer is on. As I used that transfer stick where I'm pulling away, I just rubbed back and forth and back and forth. And if any of it didn't come up, I just laid that carrier sheet back down and rubbed it again. Usually, if it doesn't stick, it's because your paint is wet or because you have a dirty surface. And like I said, I was really surprised this went down so well. When I was done with each transfer, I used the carrier sheet each one was on and rubbed the transfer. That's called burnishing, and it just makes sure that every little piece of the transfer is sticking to your object. I'm just gonna put these everywhere to give it that chwal look, and I'll speed up my film a little bit so you can watch that, and we'll get on to the next part. To seal it, I used Rust-Oleum 2x clear in matte finish. We took my mama to Lowe's on Mother's Day, and we each got a free geranium. Well, she gave me hers. This is one of them. I like to roll my pot that my flowers come in to kind of wiggle it out without pulling on the roots. And then I shake it a little bit, and I just kind of run my fingers through where the roots are just to loosen it up more so the roots won't get bound up in themselves. I put it right down in the middle of that pot, and I used some potting soil from another plant I bought on clearance and just gently put that all around it, and then I gave it a really good drink. I did this geranium because I wanted a red, white, and blue look. I love anything patriotic because I love this country. My husband proudly served our country for almost 29 years. I am proud to be an American. So anything red, white, and blue, you bet I'm showing it off. Project number 2. For this project, I'm using 4 Debi's Design Diary colors, the first one being Mint Chip. Then I'll use Farm Fresh. Next, I have Bohemian Blue. And finally, my favorite, Apothecary. Now, I found these containers at Dollar Tree a few years ago, and I don't know if they still have them. But I saved mine. They are cracked and looking old. Some of them are kicked around the top and are missing big chunks of pieces, but I don't care. I love them. I want them still, but I want to give them a little bit of life, some character, and I want them to reflect my personal design style. I did nothing special to them. I just made sure they were clean on the outside by wiping them down with a wet towel. And I'm using a different brush for each color of paint, so I won't cross-contaminate those colors. Each of them required only one thick coat with the exception of Farm Fresh. I'm not sure why, but I had to give it 2 coats because you could see quite a bit of that orange between. I'm kind of thinking maybe I didn't mix it. I like to use this handheld submersible blender I found on Amazon for mixing my paints. I used the milk frother attachment. It works great for larger cans. For the smaller cans and jars, I use this milk frother that's rechargeable. Both of these I found on Amazon. In the description, I will leave a link for each of them. Anything you purchase from Amazon by using my link to get there, they will give me a small compensation, but it won't raise your price. I'm going to be decorating 2 of the pots with stamps from IOD's stamp collection called Le Courrier. To apply it, I will be using IOD's ink in the color Stone Gray that I've put into one of their ink pads. My regular viewers know that I'm not really a stamp aficionado and I'm really new to them, but that's not going to keep me from putting them on these pots because that's what I want on these planters. It's not going to matter too much because my beautiful flowers are just going to be flowing over the edge and it'll cover it all up. But until then, it matters a little. Some of the stamps I'm using more than once after I get the ink on them. Now, the one thing I do know about stamps is you need to hold them down in one place while you put pressure all around that area. That makes it so it doesn't move around and get smeared. I didn't do such a great job on some of that. A lot of it isn't because I don't know what I'm doing, but it's because of the nature of these planters. But I still think they look great. And if you know halfway what you're doing, or even a portion of what I'm doing, you can do this too, and it will look good. I promise. I'm decorating the other 2 planters with random word transfers I have left over and with Iron Orchid Designs book called Traditional Pots. These are super cool because they're different colors. They have black, blue, and white. The white is great for the darker colors. Most of the transfers I put on that outside part that looks more like a pot and didn't put them on the inside, but I wish I would have done a little bit more in there. So if you have one of these, don't ignore the parts of the planter that you think will be hidden by other flowers because it's not going to happen right at the beginning anyway. Now when your flowers bloom and they're overflowing, then you'll be set. Until then, put a little bit of transfer in there just until it gets going. When the planters were completely dry, I gave them a really good coat of Debi's white wax with a brush, and then I rubbed it off with a soft, dry towel. I sell Debi's Design Diary products in my booth in upstate South Carolina, but I don't do mail order. But if you aren't local and still want to purchase something from me, check out the description below and you will find a link that Debi Beard gave to me just for my followers so they can make purchases on her website, and she'll give me a little bit of a thank you for that, and she won't raise your price. Ain't that sweet? I am so pleased with how this planter turned out. It's exactly what I wanted. Here it is right after I made it. I put it on the porch just to take pictures. Then I set it back further against the house so that it wouldn't get any rain on it. After about 3 days, I put it on the edge of the porch and it has not changed at all. And y'all, in those past 7 or so days, we have had a lot of rain. Here it is after I set it on the side of the porch. So far, so good. If any of you see these at a Dollar Tree close to me, let me know because I'm going to get me some more. Project number 3. Okay, I don't know if I got this whole thing at IKEA or if that was just the pots. I know I bought the pots at IKEA and then I brought them home and I painted them so that when they are stacked, they look like stripes. But I want to say I got that thing that they're sitting in at a yard sale. Either way, they fit perfectly in this and I like them for some small plants. So of course I'm going to paint them with Apothecary. Hello. And this is the very first can of Apothecary paint that I bought from Heather at Create Your Own Cozy. It has maybe 1/4 of an inch in it and it has a little smuts in there. I'm going to use it as if it had sand in it or if it was salt paint. That will give my pots a little bit of texture. It will also show you why it is important to not contaminate your cans. When you are painting, remove the paint from the can, put it in a cup. I'm telling you, it will save you a lot of frustration and a lot of money. I painted 1 layer on each pot and I brushed white wax. I brushed Debi's white wax all over the stand and let it dry for maybe 2 minutes. And then I wiped off a big amount of it with a dry, soft towel. I cut a length of burlap ribbon and then dovetailed the ends. I folded it over itself and took the top part where it was folded down to where I wanted the parts with the dovetail to go. Gosh, you guys, this is hard to explain. Have you ever tried to explain how to tie a bow? It's not easy. So I'm hoping you can learn by watching me. So I folded it in half and I figured out where I wanted the bow to stop. And I just pushed it down like that. And then I took this tassel that's made out of rope that I got off of something I bought at Dollar Tree. And I tied the ends of it around that and just put a little simple knot in it. And then I tied that to the stand for my pots. I almost forgot to tell you all how I decorated the pots. I chose 3 different transfers from the traditional pots book. The top of these pots is wider than the bottom, so I had to cut them at about a 1/3 section, and I just kind of placed them on there to see how I wanted them to go. Now, most pots are smaller at the base than they are at the top, and the traditional pots book, many of the transfers are made for those kinds of pots so that when they go around, it won't go down, the words won't like go down to the side. So since these pots are straight up and down, I had to make sure I didn't pick those transfers. And I think they look so cute. After I was done with this, I painted some white wax on and let it dry just about maybe a minute. And then I wiped it off. And these were finished. This project was so easy, and look at the results. Ugh, I didn't have 3 small house plants, so I put a petunia in the middle one. I think I'm going to put it on the front porch for the rest of the summer, so it should do pretty good there. What do you think? I know this is going to be hard to believe, but y'all, I kept every one of these projects. I am so smitten with them. I was watching Heather on Create Your Own Cozy. Sometimes she just needs to step back from making things to sell and making things for other folks, and she needs to concentrate on making her own space cozy. I am following her lead, taking some time just for me to make something that makes me and my home cozy and brings joy to my family and those who come to visit us. I hope my viewers will do the same thing for them and the ones they love. Until you see me next time, I hope your week is wonderful. And as always, I hope you are blessed. Bye.